tournament and then have good camps? Can you kind of set your tone at this and then go in and have a good main camp, I guess?
Oh, absolutely. I think, not to go back that far, but I think Jake Sanderson 2 years ago, I think it was, went in and he played. I think he only played one game, and we sat back in the room after and said, "This is silly. He doesn't even need to play any more games." He was dominating at it. So, and then he obviously went in and had a great year with Ottawa. So, not to say that Yak's going to do that, but his expectations of himself are pretty high, and you just got to temper them. Like everybody wants him to be in the NHL tomorrow, and he's not going to be. So just keep learning.
How are you going to approach defensive pairings and lines? How often are you going to be switching them in these games and keeping them consistent?
Well, we have 9 defensemen, and 1 extra left shot D, so I'll give you a little tidbit. Jorian Donovan, who's probably the most experienced back there as far as games played, probably end up playing on the right side a couple games to give other guys a look on the left side in their comfort zone. But, those guys will rotate in, and then there's no mandate on guys playing all the games or some of the games. We'll see after game 1 injury-wise and stuff, but, I think in that first game you'll see a pretty heavy draft pick laden lineup and try to put the best lines we can together for that game.
The organization trades for Jake Chason in the offseason. Have you had a chance to look at video, or what do you know about him?
Yeah, I've talked to him. I've watched video on him, and then actually I was really impressed with him today. He's a hockey player. He's a rink rat. He loves the game. He knows the game. He knows the organization already. I think he's going to be a utility knife. He told me I can play center, I can play left wing, I can play right wing. Knows what his identity is. He's a checker. He's an energy guy. So I think if he plays to his strength, he could be an asset.
Is this a group with notable size difference compared to last year?
I look up at and I know I'm not a big guy, but jeepers, those guys on the back end there, that's a bunch of trees back there. So the big fella there, the Swede, I'm interested to watch him playing with his aggressive style, what he does out there.
I think he was paired with Torre. Is that by accident?
Well, there was 9, so they were rotating. So I think tomorrow we'll put probably a puck-moving type guy with each of those guys, like a Hamera and a Donovan, with each of those guys to help them out. But I'm excited to see those guys play.
Just tell us how you're feeling right now.
Feeling good. Excited to be back on the ice. A couple good skates there, so ready to go.
We know how many injuries you've dealt with. Can you maybe just talk about how difficult that's been for you to deal with in your career?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it's pretty hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It takes a toll on me, but I think through them I've learned a lot, learned about what I need to do, and, I'm back, I'm healthy, it's in the past, and I'm not looking back, so I feel good.
Tyler, how did you kind of spend your summer?
I spent it back home. I was here, obviously, the past 2 summers before, so it's good to go home, see my family, and it was a big summer for me. I changed some things, my training, tailor on the injuries and stuff like that, so I feel really good, and I'm excited to be back.
What did you change about your training, by the way?
Sorry?
What did you change about your training?
I was doing a lot of Pilates, actually. Matt Nickel helped me out with that. He said I should do that, and I saw some big changes in my flexibility and stuff like that. But that was one thing I added.
Where did you train and skate?
I was training in the Philadelphia area.
And then who do you skate with? And
just local guys around there, and it's a good skate and good workouts.
How do you feel coming into this training camp compared to the other ones?
Yeah, obviously it's a big year. Every year is a big year. But for me, just being healthy again, it's something that I'm excited about. I know what I can do when I'm healthy, and if everything stays fine, then I'm not worried about anything.
Like you can make an impact, right? When you're healthy and feeling good.
100%.
And physically, is that as important as anything?
In terms of
making an impact.
Yeah, I think, like I said, when I'm healthy, there's no restrictions, and I feel good. Obviously, there's nicks and bruises and stuff like that. You got to be able to play through that, but just feeling good most of the time is important for me and allows me to do what I can do on the ice.
When you think about these upcoming games and just how you want to perform on the ice, what's coming to mind, and how would you feel like excitement-wise?
Yeah, obviously it's been a bit. It's kind of been this stop and start thing for a couple of years now, but like I said, I'm excited to be back. This weekend's nice because I gotta get a little warm-up before main camp, and that's what's really important to me. So just to get my feet wet, shake off the rust, and hit the ground running.
When you reflect on your last couple of seasons, 21 games last year, the year before 21, I think in the USHL it was in the 40s. When do you think you've been at your best?
Just when I can catch momentum and play. So whenever I've had games where I can play a good amount of stretch, that's when I feel my best. Like last year was kind of brutal. Main camp, got hurt, was lingering for about 3 months, and I got to catch a moving train halfway through the year and then the shoulder. So it's like, it's kind of hard to get going, but yeah.
You talked about how the adversity's helped you. How has it helped you?
Just like mentally, I think a big part of pro hockey is being able to be mentally strong. Deal with hard stuff. I never planned on getting hurt. I never do. So how to deal with that stuff, and I gain confidence from overcoming that sort of stuff. So I just feel good now.
How did first day or day one go for you here?
I thought it went really well. It was kind of good to get back in the swing of things a little bit, and it was really fast-paced practice, so I thought it went well.
Eye-catching, fast pace?
Yeah, it was. There's lots of skilled guys out there, and just it's a lot different from a junior camp or junior hockey. So it was a good test for me on the first day.
What has to be your approach going into this?
I think just go and play my game. I think, I'm here for a reason, and just go do what I can do on the ice and try and show that every game.
Is there a concern of doing too much?
I think maybe a little bit, but like I kind of said, I think that my game is just, playing in the offensive zone and being confident with the puck, and I just want to, go and showcase that every night.
How would you compare this training camp to other experiences in your hockey career? How is this different?
It's my first NHL training camp, so I think that's probably the biggest thing. I think just, the amount of attention it gets and all the different players from, that all the Ottawa prospects here. It's my first NHL camp, so I'm really excited about it.
Does it feel different competitive-wise and just with your reaction or the interactions with other players?
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone's here to make an impression and try and make an impact on the coaching staff and the general management. So I think, they're all trying to be super competitive even in the practices and make an impression.
Tell us about your first day of training camp here.
It was pretty good. A lot of the guys have been here for a while, just a couple of them, like the AHL guys last year and obviously the NHL team. So it's been pretty cool just to be around those guys. And then obviously today was pretty tough for the last 2 days with Belleville, but it's going to pay off hopefully tomorrow.
How did the feeling on the ice today compare to just the other couple of weeks of prep for you?
It was good. It was good to get into some flow drills and back to like a practice and stuff. So it's been a little bit more skill work and stuff with the last skates the last 2 weeks, but overall it's been pretty good.
After your playoff run in the end of Belleville season, did it change your approach to coming into this camp of the success you had playing in Belleville?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it changed my outlook, but I kind of went into Belleville like trying to think about what I could work on in the summer to prepare me for the pro game. Just a little bit different than the college game, or being like 30 or so games, and then obviously playing with a lot bigger, stronger guys. But I credit a lot of guys like Halliday, Kerr was on the team last year, Boucher, like a lot of those guys helped me to translate pretty quick. So I was really thankful for those guys, but I wouldn't say my mindset changed at all, but I definitely think it definitely gave me a little bit of confidence.
Trained differently in the off season?
I wouldn't say trained a whole lot differently. Kind of did the same thing. I went to Ohio State back with a couple of my teammates who kind of went through the same thing that signed in different pro teams. So Mason Loy went on the run with Boston, so he was there for a little bit, and a lot of other guys. So it was kind of good to just see those guys again, and then obviously we had a good group.
What was some of the feedback you got at the end of last season that you wanted to bring into this camp?
I think just kind of getting overall just more comfortable in the pro game, whether it's be stronger on the walls or kind of knowing when to do certain things. So I think I learned a lot just with Belleville, teaching me a lot of the different stuff that I needed to work on to be better this season, but it was last year. So, but I think Belleville did a really good job, but just kind of harping on the little things with me.
Typically, guys in your situation, leaving school at the end of the year to go, don't see as many minutes as you did. Clearly, you had the trust of the coaching staff. What is it about your game that let them trust you so much?
Yeah, I think with Belleville, it's a two-way street. So I think Belleville's really honest, and that's what I love about him as a coach. So he kind of harped on me early on, I got to play a certain way if I want to play, and obviously he asked me to step up a little bit and play a little bit more minutes towards the playoffs, and I was really happy, really grateful that he allowed me to do that. And then obviously I tried to do my best.
What kind of expectations have you put on yourself for this weekend, but also the camp?
Yeah, I think I've asked like a lot of guys just being on the AHL team last year. Almost all of them have done rookie camp, so I had a really good like chats with like Caleb was telling me about his experience, or like Chucky did it last year. So they just said to have fun, like use it as like a tune-up, like make sure you're playing good hockey going into camp and stuff. And then obviously like a lot of us like at rookie camp that are going into main camp, we're really using it as like a tool to get really almost like a leg up just going into main camp.